Oh, wait, it's starting now? Oh, 1 second, everybody. Let's see here. Let's put that over there. Make sure my hair looks good. Hi. How's it going? No, camera, over here. Over here, dang it. It's me, Apollo. Hi. There's a lot of you. What the heck? How's it going, everybody? Happy Friday. Congratulations on surviving another week and making it to this grand day. Our little Virtux first wave of debuts here for Project Instinct. Man, this has been a long time coming. Like, everyone's put so much work and time into this. I'm so excited and obviously a little nervous, but I'm super excited for everyone else and obviously excited for myself too. This is just cool. Here, let me get out of the way of the chat. I'm blocking everybody. How's it going? Stop calling me INSTINKT. I took a shower. I made sure I was clean. Look at those teeth. Got the chompers. Blue Man is back. Blue Man is indeed back and ready to go. Hola. Yes. No, honestly, it's still kind of hard to wrap my head around the fact that this is finally happening, because this has been literal months that we've been hard at work on this. So I'm still floored. Like I still have to come to grips with it. And really, even before I get started with anything, thank you all so much for being here, for supporting me, for supporting everybody else. Thank you to anyone who's been already hanging out with me for so long before this. Without any of you, I would not made it to this point. So I owe today and all the days that come after this to all of you. Thank you very much. Thank you. But yes, I'm gonna get things started here with a little bit of a model showcase. You all know me pretty well. I'm probably the Project Instinct member with the least amount to reveal, but even still, there's a lot of you who are here for the first time, and I want to make sure that you get to see everything as well. So we'll just kind of go from top to bottom. We've got my very gloriously unkempt hair. I am a husky, by the way. I'm a monster hunting husky, so I get called a cat fairly often. Like, no judgment. I'm not upset about that. Some people say that huskies are part cat anyway, so maybe there's something to it. But yeah, no, definitely doggo, yes. And before we even scroll down, I'll get through like all the little toggles I've got here. So this is just my standard little resting face. I'm hyped up, I'm ready to go. Let me at him. And then I'm sad, something bad's happening. Oh no. Oh, why'd you do this to me? Lines for if I'm annoyed or just bothered by something. Got my shade, got my raccoon eye shade when I'm up to something sneaky. Same thing, but just less, it's a darker shade, and you can layer them up so I can look like a raccoon. You already know this one. Surprised Pikachu face. Sweating. And that's it. That's what we got for now. I will add more later, I'm sure. But for now, that's what we've got, and I'm happy with it. It's gotten me this far, at the very least. When you scroll down, you start to see that I have a long hairstyle. I've got like a little rat tail ponytail goes off my shoulder to the side. Got my fuzzy jacket because I'm used to cold weather. Even where I'm at now, I have not let that go. It's just nice and comfy. High collar shirt, got a little chest window in there, little form-fitting garment underneath. My hand is super glued to my chest, but that's okay. I like it like that. Got my bracers, make sure I can deflect some blows from some sharp claws, deal with some beasties. Go a little further down, you got double belts, because one belt is never enough. We've got a little satchel that I can carry any like books or important documents or items in, and then a little, I like to call it, it's almost like a little ingredient bag on the other side, as well as a little couple gems that match my eyes and dangle from my hip, because why not have a little extra fashion statement? And then my jacket goes all the way down to just past my knee level, and it's split in the back so that my tail can get through it if I ever need to. Got my armored knee pads here, armored boots all the way down, and then the stompies, because they're comfy for me and they're not for any butts I need to kick, basically. Armor's good when you're going out and fighting monsters. Who would have thought? And then, lastly, big ol' floofy tail, and the way I am right now, my ponytail kind of flows down into my tail, kind of like a wave. So it's all kind of seamless and tied together, and I've always really loved it. Those boots, the details, oh, I know. Styling and profiling, you know it. Yeah, I love what my model Papa did for me, and I'm gonna get more into him here shortly. Yes, teeth. Back to teeth. Nice shin kickers, exactly. But here, let me get to our slides really quick. Let me, oopsie, that's not supposed to be on. Scuff, don't mind it. Don't mind the scuff. The scuff is fine. You'll see that later. But yes, this is basically a short kind of backstory of who I am and how I've got here. And I'm going to be honest, it's really interesting. Oh, it's going to be really interesting. Reading about myself in the third person, it makes me feel special, you know? The more things change, the more they stay the same. After finding himself in an unfamiliar place following a rift event, Apollo is unsure how much time has passed, or if this is even the world he left behind at all. While he has had his troubles acclimating to a more modern society, his knack for fighting monsters has still been quite useful, as all forms of anomalies, many hostile, have followed him through the breach. Thankfully, others who had been brought to this place earlier helped Apollo acclimate to this world and appreciate these strange games and discover how much things like music differed from what he was used to. This was, in fact, a new world, but the job is the same. We're protecting it at all costs. Coming from a group of nomadic mountain settlers, Apollo learned to be resourceful early in life. A skilled hunter and tracker, I, eventually joined with the Guild, a wide-reaching organization tasked with carrying out important missions and to aid settlements besieged by monsters and other dangers. It was here where he made a name for himself as an adept monster hunter, tasked with facing some of the most dangerous trials and tribulations that Guild membership had to offer. Tracking a destructive and yet unknown monster said to have been an abomination. It had just honestly raised a settlement. It was causing a lot of problems, and it was unlike anything we had ever seen before. It led me to a rift within the caves. That rift's energy whirred to life and sent the caves crumbling down on themselves in a seismic event. I had two options. I could try to make my way back through the cave network, which would have taken some time and risk myself being crushed, and that risk was incredibly great, or dive through the rift that I had seen the monster traverse through itself and let fate decide rather than giving in to an almost certain death. Jumping through that rift, I ended up here in a completely foreign world, and apparently a time, maybe even a place entirely different than where I started from. And I'm incredibly thankful to everyone who has helped me even get this far, because when I first showed up, I had literally no idea. I couldn't communicate with anybody. I didn't know anybody. I didn't know anything. It was basically like being born again. But yeah, in truth, life expectancy for a job like mine, as you can imagine, was not expected to be too long in the first place. You're dealing with some big beasties, just a bunch of dangerous stuff. Yes, instant coffee was a revelation. Real coffee, which I discovered later, was much better, but coffee was pretty good. Cursed teachings. But yeah, as lovely as it is to be able to spend time with you all and to embrace and enjoy this new world, it has been bittersweet. And that's because for all the friends and everyone I hold dear and have now, I left a bunch of folks behind. And all I can do is hope that wherever they are or were, they lived good lives and happy lives and didn't mourn too much for me, because I wasn't actually dead. But they wouldn't know that. They just know that I stopped showing up. The best part of waking up is Folgers in your cup. Thank you, Carrick. But yes, as I've already mentioned, I am Apollo Alto. Apparently this name means different things in this world than where I came from. Where I came from, my name really just represented being energetic, being a light, being a vibe, just dancing around and giving everyone energy and optimism, and basically always striving for the pinnacle at all times. Apparently now this is the name of a god. So I guess that god, or whoever named that god, had really good taste in names, so good on them. As for my age, it's really hard to tell exactly how old I am, only because we didn't keep time exactly the same way as this modern society does. So we can kind of guesstimate that I am in my mid to late 20s, but it's hard to know for sure. So we're just keeping it as question marks for right now. Back where I came from, I was pretty tall, but these days it seems like I'm more around the average, being about 5'11" or 180 centimeters. So I'm being dwarfed by quite a few people now, and you know what? No judgment. I don't worry about that at all. I am comfy in my body. It is very fine. And then again, we didn't keep time the same way, so I wouldn't know what my proper birthday would be. So what we did is we decided that the day that I arrived here would be my birthday. So November 9th. And supposedly that makes me a Scorpio. At least according to what like an old street lady said. There was like this old street lady with like a cowl on and like a crystal ball or something like that. And she was kind of reading me my future. And I was like, I appreciate it, ma'am, but I don't want to know my future. I know your magic is powerful, but I'm afraid that if I knew the future, it would cause me to hesitate when the moment is needed. So if Scorpio means anything to you, There you go. As for languages, again, I came from a completely different time and place, so I didn't speak any languages. Like, that's what's crazy about this world we live in right now. The technology is so crazy. It's like spells from our lore. You can communicate with each other over vast distances, hundreds, thousands, unimaginable distances. You can share all of your information at the touch of a finger. You literally carry all of your world's knowledge in your pocket. Some people even carry it just in their head. And then for me, when I first showed up, I was lost and alone and couldn't speak with anybody. And I guess I would call you all my benefactors who grabbed me and brought me here. You did something to me, and now I can read and write and speak English, which is supposedly a common language. Tell me if I'm wrong. So far, I've been able to communicate with pretty much everybody with it, so that's pretty neat. I will say if I use it too much, my head does start to hurt a little bit. They said that might happen, so I need to not stress my head out too hard doing language now. So that's that. And they also said they would have gotten me more languages, but they didn't want to spend a lot of money. So, I mean, I can't be upset. Like, apparently, like, this is perfectly fine. If I can talk to pretty much everybody with one language, I'll get by. And if I need to get more later, I guess there's probably something they can do about it. But I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there. This thing, which I was told is my Oshi mark, is a wolf. Or I guess it's supposed to be a husky, but wolf, husky, close enough. And a snowflake, because I am from a cold northern region. And my color code hex is a nice, soft, but strong blue. So if you needed to use that for any reason, I don't know what magic you would do that with, but go right ahead. That's information I'm supposed to share with you. These are my hashtags. So for general messages, Apollo Alto, so just my name with no space. When I am going live for streaming, it's going to be Apollo now, as in me right now, come and see me. Art is Arto, so just my last name, and you put an O on the end of it. I was told that there's this stuff called NSFW, and for that, my tag should probably be Apollo XOXO. So I didn't know what I was doing, so I just went with what was suggested, and that's what came out. My followers or fan names are the Alternates, which apparently is alternates, but just spelled funny. And then for funny pictures and videos and stuff like that, which are called memes, those will be Apollos. So if you got funnies, send all your Apollos my way. Let me slide. Oopsie. I'm going to cover the entire screen. You don't get to see anything. So these are the credits for my channel. For everyone who is enjoying my model and everything early on, my model Papa is Cluseler, and he actually did the rig as well. I can't appreciate Cluseler enough. I first worked with him over Skeb, and then have worked with him more closely ever since then. He's a fantastic artist. He's very chill. His own stream is awesome. So if you're ever wanting to watch a chill art stream and literally just watch a master doing what they do best, pop into Cluseler's stream. For anyone who isn't already aware, some of his other V children, I guess, who would be my V siblings, would be like Onigiri, the cooking VTuber. She is one of Kluseler's creations, or at least model credits. And another would be Imalama. And for someone who's more recent, a lot of people might know, Matara Khan is Kluseler's biggest and most recent VTuber child. So I have some highly rated, very much esteemed siblings, and I need to try to live up to them as best as I possibly can. Parker is the creator of my overlay design and schedule, which you'll be getting to see a little bit later. The starting soon screen that was playing before all of this was made by Motuo. The musician behind my intro starting screen music is Tashi. And I also have an extra credit in here, and it's my bad for forgetting to mention them in the first place. This music you're listening to right now, my chill little background music, that is made by Tweaks, who is properly credited in my panels down below the stream along with everyone else. And then lastly, for this page, my alerts and emotes are coming from a combination of KSZK and Tantaro. Some of their examples here should now be on screen. You've got my jumping and happy emote, my flustered, oh my god, no face, and then just like a little bit of like a selfie wink into the camera image from K. Okay. And then lastly, for credits, we have my primary emote artist, who is Susia. There's a whole bunch of work you're going to see from Susia in obviously my emotes page, but across everything I do. Their style is amazing. They work so fast. They are one of the best artists I have ever had the pleasure of working with. Absolutely fantastic. And then for my wiggle, that comes from Aurelia, who is behind a whole bunch of folks' wiggles. They got my little derpy wiggle at all times. Okay. And then this is basically just a lot of my favorite anime. I am a big, like, maybe some of these are going to be telling as to my age a little bit. Maybe I'm dating myself a little bit. But a lot of the late 90s, early 2000s anime are towards the top of my list. There's not like a particular order here, but these were some of the most notable to me. I loved Ghost in the Shell, especially like Standalone Complex when I was first getting into watching anime. I've always loved dark, gritty themes. I love cyberpunk settings. Speaking of cyberpunk, one of the ones that I forgot to pop up on here was actually Cyberpunk Edge Runners, another fantastic show. But when it comes to Ghost in the Shell, I love the synergy of all the main characters. The Major, I think, is one of the greatest protagonists I've ever watched. I know that she's very stoic, but just the way she kind of fit into kind of that harsh reality and worked alongside Bako and Togusa and the others, and all of the like deep issues that they tackled kind of societally were so interesting to me. And then Evangelion in the same way. I'm not a big mech fan, I'm going to be honest, but the ways that like the pilots would integrate with the Evas, the mechs, to basically not only share their synergy, but like share pain, share experience, stuff like that was interesting. The manipulative nature of the show, like how Shinji was being basically lied to and used by his father. Like if you know, you know, when it regards things like Gendo and Reii and people like that, like the secrets that were being hidden and how messed up that was. And then obviously one of the greatest tsundere icons of all time is Asuka. Like, Asuka's great. And even just outside of the anime itself, like what the creator Hideki Anno went through, his battle with depression and how that showed up as the series got deeper and darker, it just basically played a heavy influence in like shows that I would watch in the future. And I'm speaking of him and his struggle, I'm so glad that Anno has gotten on and now been releasing things like Shin Godzilla, like still doing well, seems to be in a much happier place now. And then Cowboy Bebop, Space Cowboy. Let's be honest, Rain is one of the greatest anime songs of all time. I love Rain. It's a song I plan to cover eventually. It's very powerful. And then when I think of like ensemble casts for shows, the way that you have Spike and Jet who are like at the end of their rope or cynical or just kind of depressing bummers all the time, contrasted with someone like Faye, who is maybe like an ugly personality, maybe kind of not the best person, but lively, energetic, kind of brings up the energy. And Edward, who's a little more like childish, and just like draws the sharp contrast and innocence to the other three. The way they all work together was just so cool. And Rain, the best and then they also have the best, like one of the best intros of all time. Like Cowboy Bebop is timeless, for me. And then just kind of going down the rest of the list here. Dragon Ball, I would watch that when I was coming home from school. That was like my childhood. Full Metal Alchemist, with the caveat, I mostly like Brotherhood over the original run, but for one episode, if you've ever, you know Night of the Chimera's Cry, if you remember Edward, you'll know what I'm meaning. That one episode of Night of the Chimera's Cry, I think was done way better in the first run than it was in Brotherhood. They cut out a lot of the emotion in the second run. So if you watch Brotherhood, take the original episode of Night of the Chimera's Cry from the original Full Metal Alchemist, substitute it in. I promise it's much better. Hunter x Hunter, I love all the main characters. I love Gon. I love Killua. Hisoka is one of the craziest antagonists of all time. He's freaky. And I think the Chimera Ant arc was some of the best anime I've ever watched, and the way it wrapped up, even though it did drag on for a long time, the way it all was, how interesting the villains were, and all the kind of conflicts within that, it was just so well written. We've got Fate. I'm gonna be honest, I like Fate just because it's really pretty to look at. The animation's great, and Astolfo is fantastic. I'm an Astolfo appreciator, for anyone who doesn't already know. Tokyo Ghoul, one that's a little more recent. I know that there were issues with like the original run, but even still, just like conceptually, like Reii and Tokyo Ghoul were very interesting to me. One Punch Man, and by extension, Mob Psycho 100 were both very energetic and lively. I love those shows. And I feel like One Punch Man kind of got like weaker as it went on, but the first season's just so good. And then Mob Psycho kept getting better. Yes, I did read at least most of the Tokyo Ghoul manga. I did not finish it. Just to clarify that. ReZero, I love Natsuki Subaru. I love all, again, I'm getting into this mess with your mind, dark topic stuff when I get back into ReZero. Same, you can basically say some of the stuff I was talking about for my first three. Overlord, I love that there's like a conundrum where I feel like Einzone is basically, you're basically rooting for the bad guy. It's a whole anime about absolute power corrupts absolutely, but no one is the villain in their own story. So you're taking someone who is basically evil, is almost certainly evil, but you're seeing him through a positive light, even though he's doing good yet terrible things. He's slipping. You're watching him slip. Reincarnated as a slime, again, very awesome, more recent show. I love the characters. First season was my peak for that show, and I hope that it can come back and continue to be strong, but Rimuru is super fun. Demon Slayer, great story. Love the villains. Love the heroes. The art style is fantastic. Jujutsu Kaisen. I like an anime where people punch people. Jujutsu Kaisen feels like a modern Dragon Ball to me. Vinland Saga, for anyone who's a Berserk fan but likes Vikings, kind of similar. Thorkill is an insane protagonist, antagonist, whatever he happens to be on the day, and the story following Thorfinn for me is super interesting. It's a brutal show, but it's super good and well done. Violet Evergarden, again, beautiful. This one's a lot more calm, but it touches on like very emotional, sad subjects too, so that's hitting from a different angle. Spy X Family, super cute. Love Anya, very cute character, very cute cast. They're all super fun. And then Zombieland Saga is just kind of one I threw in here at the end because it's like a guilty pleasure. I love all the characters. It's so funny. If you've never seen it, please watch Zombieland Saga. I promise it is worth it. And then one last one that kind of parallels my story here of ending up in a new world and kind of having to acclimate to it. That's beautifully well drawn and everything like that. Again, I said I'm not much of a mech show watcher, but if you've never seen Gargantia on the Verdurous planet, look up that anime. It's from like the mid 2010s. I promise you will enjoy it if you like some deep story. For games and tabletop, I have been playing League of Legends for a long time. I know it's like self-torture, but I can't stop. It's an addiction. I've played so much Halo over the years. I love Halo. I love the story. I love the universe. Apex Legends makes me think of Unreal Tournament. I love the snap, shooty speed because I used to play a lot of like Unreal Tournament, Quake, stuff like that. It scratches that itch. Lethal Company, a great asset. Phasmophobia, Demonologist, and any of the games where we're collectively working together to stop a ghost and or a mummy and or other apparition. Dead Space is one of my favorite horror games of all time, because when you're in space, no one can hear you scream. If it wasn't obvious, Monster Hunter, super amazing. I started playing Monster Hunter Unite on the PSP. So that was my first exposure to anything even kind of like a Souls-like game. And I still play Monster Hunter today. I want to play it more because I've kind of fallen out of regularity with it, but I will be back to it before long. Mortal Kombat and fighting games in general are super fun. Random sports games. I am a sports nerd. I don't talk about it very much, but especially with like American like gridiron football, I have a lot of fun just with sports in general. There was a time when I literally knew like a bunch of players for like every single team. Like someone could ask me, name all the quarterbacks in the league, and I could do it. I love tabletop role-playing games. So D&D, obviously your classic fantasy. Everyone gets into that. Shadowrun is convoluted as all hell, but if you wanted to play a cyberpunk style tabletop roleplay, either Cyberpunk Red or Shadowrun are very great settings for it. Shadowrun's just hard to set up in. Malifaux is like it's like a steampunk, it's like steampunk with magic is the best way to describe Malifaux, and your characters are determined by tarot card readings. Very interesting system. World of Darkness, more of a modern system, but you're hunting like werewolves and mummies and stuff like that. And Magic the Gathering. A lot of people know what Magic the Gathering is. Card games. Let's go. Music. I have a bunch of music I love. I can't limit it all to a page. I love rap. I love rock, especially like Euro rock and stuff like that. And when it comes to rap, I love speed. Like, some lama do malama you assume I'm a hero. What I gotta do to get it through you? I'm superhuman. Stuff like that. I love double timing. It's super fun. Gorillaz was a super good flow. Eminem, when I'm talking about like Eminem, Busta Rhymes, Yellow Wolf, Chris Glico, Tech Nine, people like that. I love speed. Not speed, just speed in rapping. Elvis is a guilty pleasure for classic sounds. I've done a couple covers of his songs just for like karaoke and whatnot. And Caravan Palace for just stuff like Glitch Hop. I love Chill Step and stuff too. If you've never watched Alan Watts Chill Step and gone to sleep to it, it's super awesome. I like a lot of stuff. Obviously, I like games. I like watching people play games. I like cooking. I bake. I make pies and chocolate and cookies and stuff like that. I make steaks. I've posted some of my food from time to time. Soda's a guilty pleasure. Coffee's a guilty pleasure. Give me dinner rolls. I'm going to eat that stuff right up. Pie's great. Key lime in the summer. Pumpkin and pecan around Thanksgiving. And Marion berry is good all the time. Tonkatsu. Obviously, ramen is delicious. Clam chowder. Love esports. Again, I love competitions. Oopsie. I love competitions and stuff like that. And again, as an extension of loving competition, sports, like I was mentioning before, I sing. I sing in the car. I sing in the shower. I sing to myself. And I sing on stream. And then lastly, I promise I'm not an alcoholic, but I do like mixology. I've even made like recipes or worked with tools to get recipes for like my own characters. Whiskey, vodka, and tequila are my tops. I have a squeamish dislike of cringe. Literally stuff like nice guys and nice girls. When I see text from stuff like that, I writhe in pain. Horseradish. I've discovered that mild horseradish I can kind of deal with, but if you have like strong horseradish, it is like the worst thing ever. It is the worst thing to ever touch my tongue. Surgical gore, can't really handle it. Give me a horror movie where it's all sloppy and I'm fine, but surgical gore, can't handle it. And then also I have carpophobia. So for anyone who doesn't know what that is, it means you don't like pressure on your wrists. And thinking of like your wrist being grabbed too hard freaks you out. Random fact. My goals as a part of Virtux and as a streamer in general, I want to have a whole bunch of fun. I want to meet a whole bunch of new people. I'm planning to release a cover album and also work on some original songs eventually, maybe even collab with some of my fellow streamers here. I want to do more regular narration content. I play narrative games and I really do like voice acting and stuff like that. It's something I'd love to try. Financial stability is obviously a positive. I'd be lying if I didn't put it on the list. Would like to take on a proper Souls-like game because I haven't. Black Sun Wukong is coming out. Hint, hint. I'm going to probably target that. And then I just want to continue to get better as a person because the day we think that we can't get any better is a sad day. And that is that. And then here. Oh no! Technical difficulty. My model has been replaced by just a wiggle. I have been turned into a Smurf. I'm short and blue. Some variety streamer I am. My whole first week, including this coming Sunday, my plan is to play the ever-loving crap out of Wuthering Waves. It looks super fun. It gives me Monster Hunter vibes from what I've seen. I love combat like that. I never played Genshin, but I love Star Rail. So I'm like, let me give it a try. Let's crush it. So I'm going to be testing out a couple time slots, and I might mix it up a little bit during the weeks. But 3 p.m. on Monday and Tuesday, 4 p.m. all Pacific time on Wednesday and Friday. You can catch me playing Wuthering Waves, maybe even slipping in some Star Rail or some other games as well. Okay. Now, before I completely get everything set up and passed off, I have one more gift. Well, not gift, performance. Let me be in the right spot here. I want to, since you heard me talking about singing and stuff, let me get that reverb on. Sound check, test, how's the reverb? I'm gonna do everything in my power to not peak the microphone, but we're gonna do one song And the song of choice is going to be The Sound of Silence by Disturbed. So, if that sounds awesome to you, I'm going to get my backing track ready to go, and we're going to hit this up. Okay. Let's see here. Let me get my... Okay, filter's good. Okay, sorry about that. Technical difficulties, we're fine.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again. Because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping. And the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. In restless dreams I walked alone, narrow streets of cobblestone, 'neath the halo of a street lamp. I turned my collar to the cold and damp, when my eyes were stabbed by the flash of a neon light that split the night and touched the sound of silence. And in the naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe more. People talking without speaking, people hearing without listening, people writing songs that voices never shared, and no one dared disturb the sound of silence. Fool, said I, you do not know. Silence like a cancer grows. Hear my words that I might teach you. Take my arms that I might reach you. But my words, like silent raindrops, fell and echoed in the wells of silence. And the people bowed and prayed to the neon god they made, and the sign flashed out its warning in the words that it was forming. Then the sign said, the words of the prophets are written on the subway walls, in tenement halls, and whispered in the sound of silence.
Oh, woo! It's tricky to not peak the mic, so hopefully that sounded good. I stood back a little bit. Oh, woo! Oh my goodness. Yeah, so I guess if anyone has any questions, I'm here to. I have about 5 minutes left where I can chat with y'all a little bit. And I mean, other than that, I'd also like to throw some extra thanks while it's at the front of my mind. I'd like to throw some thanks to Kira for helping to set up my debut slides and stuff like that. Oh, I still have the reverb on. Reverb, sorry. Okay, no more reverb. Sorry about that. Hopefully that wasn't too hard to listen to. I got back closer to the mic again. Largest thing I've hunted? I want to say it was a razorback stone bear, and that thing was tricky. So I think the closest thing that you all have is something like a grizzly bear, but imagine it being like maybe like not quite 2 grizzly bears, but 1.5-ish grizzly bears, and there's like spikes and rocks on it. Thoughts on the gun lance? It's less practical than other weapons, but based on the rule of cool, I am pro gun lance. Just stab something and explode it. How's the debut happy jitter energy feeling? I'm going to be super honest. I am even still right now turbo nervous. I don't know if y'all can tell, but it's like it's an exciting nervousness. Like I'm doing my best to just control and embrace it, but I did have a little bit of caffeine before this too, so I'm trying not to turbo jitter, you know? Now we can see it. Best Dragon Ball character, I would say, because I usually judge my characters based on their character progression, and Goku is pretty much the same character the entire way through. For me, it's, I would say either Gohan, if we stop after the Cell Saga of Dragon Ball Z, or Vegeta. Vegeta continued to be good and got better past the Cell Saga as far as like character growth. Gohan's character growth was awesome, and then the Buu Saga happened and Saiyaman happened, and I was like, You sounded very solid during that song. Your ascensions and soft dissensions gave me chills. Bravo. Thank you so much. It's so hard to read your name on OBS because I have a dark background and it came up in dark blue. Kakashi, or loves Kakashi. Fascia? Thank you. If I said your name wrong, I apologize. My favorite song to sing, that one's up there. I really enjoy Believe by The Bravery. I love a lot of Cage the Elephant stuff, like Ain't No Rest for the Wicked is an amazing song. There's a lot. And then like rap and stuff like that. Like if I get into a flow, I've done Lose Yourself by Eminem and stuff like that. This is all stuff that's been like released on my Discord just as like random little karaoke things, because I'll just drop stuff randomly. It's like, why not? Speaking of, if anyone does want to see any of that stuff, my Discord is down in my panels down below. And if you wanted to hear any of my other music, I have 4 songs covers currently released on my YouTube as well. All that in my socials down below. Feel free to check out any of that when you have the time. Don't do it right now because we've got more people coming up after me. We've got Reii coming up next. Speaking of, okay, I'm getting the call that it is time to raid out into Reii. So everyone, show Reii your absolute best. He is our stinky CEO, but he is absolutely fantastic and great in every way, and I'm not at all being pressured to say that. So yeah, one last time, I've been Apollo. If you have a monster that needs hunting or a problem that needs solving, I'm more than happy to do that for you for a small fee. Of course, no claws are too sharp, no teeth are too big. If you're not dealing with any problems right now, I'm happy for you, and I only wish the best for you. Treat yourself well because you deserve it, and I'll catch you next time. Let's raid out!